Today I'm heading to central Turkey to stay in a cave hotel. But this isn't just a novelty for tourists. People actually used to live in caves in this particular region called Cappadocia. Perfect pronunciation. But anyway, I want to see what it's like to live in a cave. I want to see if I've got what it takes to be a caveman, perhaps. So, we're currently in Istanbul airport. We're now going on a short journey. I think we're already boarded here. Am I going to be late? Yeah, it seems somehow I've ended up at last call, even though we weren't supposed to be boarding for another 5 minutes. Get me to this bloody cave. Yes, there we go. Hi. That's my name. Wanna be in it?
Yeah.
And I'm finally at the hotel. Just some context, it is currently 1 AM and I got here 2 hours ago. Hello, just to check in please. And we're finally here. We're in our cave. We're in our cave. It's late. I'll show you around in the morning. Yes, good morning from the Cave Hotel. Look at this for a view. I literally got up like 15-20 minutes ago, as you could probably tell. What a view this is. Little hot air balloon over there. You've got some incredible scenery here. This is all, believe it or not, this is all natural rock. But look at this little... You got your little caves and stuff. And then around here you've got the hotel. I'll do a little room tour. This is my little cave. Look at this for a bedroom. This is our little cave for the night. Nice open living area. You got your TV, even in a cave. Did cavemen have this? Probably not. 2 chairs. It's more like a waiting room than it is a lounge, but anyway. And then through here, you've got your bathroom. Still very much in a cave. Toilet, sink, birthing bath. I have no plans to give birth during this trip, but it's there, it's an option. And an absolutely huge shower. It's a massive walk-in shower. So yes, this is my cave for the next night. Last night was one of the 2 nights that I've got here. I've got to say I slept pretty well, but this is not bad for a cave, is it? You see why cavemen hung out in them so much. I want to live in a cave at this rate. One thing I've not shown you, and I've not actually been out yet, is I've got like a little, I don't know if it is a balcony or a patio, I don't know. Oh lovely. It's, is it locked? Oh yeah, there's a key. Helps if you turn it. We're sort of outside, but we're also inside. It's a cave conservatory. I don't know if people are in that or what, I'm not sure, but that's a hell of a view. We'll go have a proper look around later. For now, I've got like an hour before breakfast ends, and I would very much like to eat. So let's go to breakfast. Well, what a breakfast that was. Finished up there. I just sat down and suddenly all this food just came out and just kept coming out and just kept coming out. Didn't ask for any of it. Didn't get told what any of it was. So just kind of like, just figure it out. I needed an instruction manual because I don't know which bread's for dipping, what am I dipping it into and all that kind of stuff. Don't know. But it was fine. It was different. You know, it was Turkish. I wouldn't usually order it, if I'm honest. I wouldn't usually order a little piece of cucumber for breakfast, but that's just me. Fantastic view though, by the way. Every single table at the breakfast place had a lovely view. Beautiful view. You could watch the birds. There's like birds from chasing each other around and all that kind of stuff out there. It's brilliant. God knows what lunch is going to look like, to be honest with you. You've got to get what you can when you're a caveman. You know, that's what happens when you're living in a cave. You don't know when the next meal is coming. So I gobbled up as much as I possibly could at breakfast, to be honest. I'm going to go get ready, going to go have a shower, and then we're going to go head out there. We're going to go see what this rock formation stuff, caves and all that are like. One thing I didn't realise about this area is it's probably more touristy than I expected, considering we are in the middle of nowhere. And now I'm starting to sort of look around and, you know, there's places called like the selfie restaurant and stuff like that. And that's a concern, I'm not going to lie, that is a concern. But we'll get through it. Or we'll try to. Just want to say massive thank you to Babel for sponsoring this video. Since travelling, I've realised the importance of learning a few words, a few phrases of things that could be helpful along the way. Désolé, je suis anglais. Scusa, sono inglese. Mi espagnolo è non muy bueno, pero lo intento. Okay, it's probably not perfect, but I'm learning, and that's why I'm using Babel's courses to try and improve my Spanish before an upcoming trip. They can get you to start speaking a new language in just 3 weeks. What is your name? Let's imagine I'm on a date with a beautiful Spanish señorita. I should probably know her name if I'm on a date with her, shouldn't I? But anyway, ¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas? And look, you can use Babel to learn various different phrases. Me llamo Ed. Donde esto el baño? It's all about learning a language using real scenarios. Some apps, I'm not naming names, but it can be stuff like, my egg was really unhappy at the funeral. And it's like, what? What are you on about? And so thanks to the beautiful, wonderful, glorious people at Babel, they are giving you up to 50% off to start your language learning journey. Just use my QR code on screen or click the link in the description below and go start your language learning journey. On with the video.
Right, okay, so let's head out now and go explore the area around here, the caves and all that kind of stuff. I'm not quite sure what's going on around here, so I'm excited to go see it for myself, and I'll explain some of the history. Right, okay, so we will be heading over there at some point, but let's first just go down here and see what's going on. So for those of you wondering, these are rock formations that are very specific to this region, this area. Supposedly there's thousands of these kind of rock formations in this region of Turkey. The reason for it, as far as I'm aware, is due to rain, wind, erosion of the rock. It's a very specific type of rock which is basically very dry, doesn't have much moisture in, so it allows you to sort of live in it because it's not going to cave in on you, but it's also kind of like weak enough for you to sort of chisel into it and form these kind of caves. They refer to these as fairy chimneys. That's what you're looking at, loads of fairy chimneys here. I think this is also supposed to be a castle area here. Is that the castle? I don't know. You can supposedly, I think, go to the top of that. No idea how you get up there, but we'll try. You may also see these hot air balloons. There's many of them dotted around here. It's a very popular region for hot air balloons. Apparently that's what people come here for, the tourists. It's very Instagrammy, apparently, for hot air balloons. I didn't know this prior to coming. I've come to stay in a cave. I was tempted to do it, but also it's a real naff way to die, isn't it, in a hot air balloon. Jumping out of a plane, fair enough, kind of bit badass, but oh, my balloon popped. It's not great. It's not a good look. It seems pretty safe, but at the same time, there's just something that doesn't sit right with me. Who's come up with that as an idea, as a mode of transport, the hot air balloon? Oh, I know, let's get a giant basket, pop a balloon on top. What? Who came up with that? Who was sat around in a giant basket one day coming up with, I don't know. Crazy. Let's have a look in one of these caves. These are what people actually used to live in, particularly during war times, because, well, it was just sort of safer to be on a big rock than it was to be out in the open. I'm assuming these used to be lived in, but I have absolutely no idea. This could just be for tourists. This could be a hotel room. Let's find out. Oh, wow. Wow, wow, wow. I did not expect this. Oh, now this is all right. I mean, I wouldn't rent it myself, but this is all right. Wow. I did not expect it to be so sort of grand. Oh, that does not feel safe. Jesus. Are we allowed in here? There's a massive hole in the ground. I mean, that's just fallen through. And the worst part is you can see how thin the rock is underneath, which doesn't fill me with confidence. So I won't go and peek my head too far into that. I mean, I just have, but that's thinner rock than I thought. Jesus. Okay, we'll keep walking. That's not the greatest entrance to a house I've ever seen. Oh, let's stick a branch so you don't fall off the edge. It's not the most reassuring, I'll be honest. God, this is pretty precarious. Right, let's go head over here towards this hot air balloon. This is just like a bit all over the place, a bit chaotic. Like, there's not really paths. Oh, it's a fake hot air balloon. For Instagrammers, presumably. What a view. All those little sort of dug out parts are your caves where people were living in, I assume. I mean, this does just look a little bit, I mean, it looks beautiful, but it does look a bit sketchy. Look at the drop here, look at the drop. Oh, that's too much. You might even be able to tell how much of a drop that is on camera, but that is too much for me, is that. Hell of a view, don't get me wrong, but it is just a sheer cliff edge. Maybe a little fence over that. A little fence, maybe, so I don't plummet to my death. You fall off there and you've fallen at a tourist attraction. You know, it's a little bit like if you are going to die somewhere, die in the Eiffel Tower or something. Maybe not London Eye, bit of a rip off that, but it's an iconic place to go, isn't it? I have seen mixed reports on this. I've seen some reports saying that these weren't actually used that long ago, from what I hear, and then some saying that they date back hundreds of years. So perhaps they were from hundreds of years ago, and then perhaps some of them have been used more recently, and then that's where you're living with that as a cliff edge. I mean, you can't let your kids out and play, can you? You're not having a kickabout up here, you lose your ball every half hour. Wow, let's continue walking around anyway. I think the strangest part of this is
The fact that you don't really know where to walk or where not to walk. Like, there's no signposts here. I think it's a tourist attraction, I don't know. I mean, some of this, there's like litter and stuff. Is this being lived in still? I don't know. That was, I don't know, probably where they had a plasma screen TV before, I'm not sure. It's just a maze of these caves. It's pretty incredible, really. Yeah, you see some of this is being used still. There's, you know, there's a mattress here. To be honest, when I booked online, I was under the assumption that I was living in one of these. Instead, I've ended up in a big rock. I am still in a cave, technically. There's not one of these caves. I mean, this is a proper hollowed out cave. You can see that's taken some work. You can see they've got all different sort of doorways and avenues you can go down and stuff. I mean, I've got no idea what that would be used for. Is that a living space? Is that a cooking area? Who knows? Anyway, now we're gonna head up for a little walk along here. That looks like there's maybe a little bit touristy up there, like there's some shops and stuff, and we're gonna try and go up here. I mean, yeah, this is the place for your Instagrams, isn't it? Oh, you put your camera on top and it spins round. Ah! See what I mean when it's sort of like very Instagram and tourist focused, which is bizarre because I'm in the middle of nowhere in central Turkey in a place I've never heard of before. But a beautiful setting, beautiful scenery. They've made barrenness look niceness. You got your Fanta cans, your Coke cans, your water bottles, your Red Bulls. They've got it all here in Turkey. It's nice, I mean, you can just see forever. It's good view. I still don't really know where I am though. I thought I was staying in a cave hotel. Looking at it now, I think they've just built a hotel on the rock, haven't they? It is technically in a rock though, which is technically a cave. The fact I can hear Dua Lipa booming out from a distance there does not fill me with a huge amount of confidence in the fact that, well, this might well just be a tourist attraction slash trap. You shouldn't have Dua Lipa in this setting. You just shouldn't be allowed. It's just glorious, glorious scenery as far as the eye can see. Nature just doing its thing. Ooh, that's a slope there. You got to be careful for them. Imagine just spinning around and just fall off. What a way to go out. But it is beautiful. The terrain is, you know, nice. Spiky mountains. I'm all for it. We need spiky mountains in the UK. But let's go climb this one. Let's go see what this one's like. I've already been asked if I was Russian. I don't really sound that Russian, as far as I'm aware anyway. Okay, so we have entered the castle. Cost me £5 something, I think. It's not too bad. And this is the highest point in this region. The castle was used for security, as the region was frequently exposed to invasions. Natural wonder used to be just one peak, but then through erosion was divided into 2 peaks. I mean, just look at this. Just being carved out. Lived in here, socialised in here. They even put a cafe in here. Isn't that good of them? It's probably been here 1,000 years. Still got all the way up there to go. It's great weather to climb up some stairs. It's a good day for it. I believe that is the top. And as the information said, the highest point in this region, supposedly. I'm not sure if I buy that. That looks pretty tall. So is that. And that. And that's much bigger. How is that not bigger and taller than this? Doesn't really feel like a castle. I can see it as being a little socialising area. You know, you go have some chit chats in the den. You gossip about people, you're having a chin wag. So-and-so at work has been slagging me off and all this kind of stuff. So it's a good place to socialise. Not quite sure about it as a castle though. Glorious view. That Turkish hot air balloon was where we were before. Down there. Right, so now we've headed up something. Let's go down it. And then I'm probably gonna look for somewhere to eat. And then we'll go for a little walk around the town and the surrounding area after lunch, I reckon. I think I'd get along with the caveman life. I think I could. I think I'd gel with it. That's a bit naff, that. Yeah, let's get lunch. I was gonna go to the restaurant that is literally just above my hotel. Looked at the prices of it. Main meals were 25, 30 quid. You know, even like 20 quid for some ravioli. So we're gonna go for a mooch, try and find somewhere a little bit cheaper, away from the sort of view, and maybe a bit better value for money. But like I say, I'm slightly concerned because like you have names like sort of selfie cave hotels and stuff like that. I've also checked online and there was a place called Burger and Pasta, which is also a concern. I mean, looks good food, and to be fair, I might end up there at this rate. Okay, after thoroughly analysing all the options available, we are going to go to Burger and Pasta. Let's head to Burger and Pasta. Okay, I've ordered the burger, just gone for a plain cheeseburger. I've got speaking to the guy here. He's very nice guy, very hospitable. Also got some homemade lemonade coming as well, which should be nice. Got myself a water, stay hydrated. Okay, here is my homemade lemonade, and here is some gloves for the burger. They know me too well. I'll see if there's a knife and fork. If not, the gloves will get some action. Let's try the homemade lemonade. Oh, wow. That is very refreshing. And it has arrived. Look at this. Lovely side portion of chips. Huge burger. Oh, nice patty. You got your cheese, got your tomato. I requested knife and fork. Got a lovely knife and fork. That's what you need for burgers. What a setup this is. Perfect for all burger enthusiasts. Straight through. Try the chips. Oh, wow. Nice bit of flavouring on that. I wonder if it's paprika. I wonder if it might be paprika. Whatever it is, it's very nice. And that burger looks incredible. Okay, just finished up at Paprika Pasta Burger Place. I've got to say, it was very good. I'm glad it was good because the owners were just right next to me. But no, it was genuinely very tasty. Chips nicely seasoned. Burger was juicy, lovely, flavourful. Plenty of stuff shoved in it. I also had baklava as well to finish off. Amazing. Love baklava. What an invention. Who came up with it? Messing around with pastries and nuts and God knows what else. Bit of syrup, yeah, chuck that in. One of those things where it's just like, I don't know how you've come up with that, but fair play, it tastes amazing. Anyway, we are going to continue having a look around, exploring around. We're not going to be doing the hot air balloon that everyone else has come here to do, it seems. A lot of the time, by the sounds of it, it does get cancelled because of the wind as well. But what I am going to hopefully try and do is get up early tomorrow to watch them all in the air. I'd much rather be on the ground watching the spectacle than one of the people actually in the air on the hot air balloons. So I'm going to do it that way around instead. It will mean, however, we're going to have to get up at 4, 5, and then just hope there's a nice spot nearby. And I assume they'll fly over here? I don't know, I'm going to ask. That's what I'm going to do instead, rather than actually going in one. They are quite expensive as well. They're like 120 quid. It's not cheap. I did find a cheaper one for 60 quid, but I don't know if you want to sort of, do you want to skimp when it comes to chucking yourself in an hot air balloon with a giant basket in the sky? I'm good, thanks. Isn't it powered by fire as well? As a mode of transport, that's not a good idea. Should we set some flames off? What whilst we're really high up in the sky? Anyway, going for a potter. There's really not a lot here. It is sort of like hot air balloon and have a look at the rocks. Well, these are quite nice. You see these little hot air balloon things? That's a nice little souvenir. He is having a great time doing ice creams. Shouting, screaming, carrying on. That's how you get people to buy from you nowadays, isn't it? So, you know, you shout and scream, someone makes a TikTok, you go viral. Next minute, your next Bingley Mega Chippy or whatever it was. It's an ice cream, just put it in the cone. Just put it in the cone. Okay, it's a little bit later on now. I've had a bit of a rest for a few hours because it was getting really warm and there wasn't really a lot more to see in this general area. Hopefully tomorrow morning we are going to wake up quite early and see the hot air balloons and it's going to be a fantastic sight, I'm hoping. But look at this, the sun has set. Look at the beautiful colours. That is gorgeous. I've got no idea who's playing these shocking tunes and sort of ruining this nice peaceful setting. We've got Ibiza around the corner. Right, I'm gonna go eat. What a lovely night. Still 20 something degrees. A little bit of wind in the air. I'm gonna try and head to a place called Felix, I think. I mean, the view just keeps getting better and better. Look at that. A bit livelier tonight. It is a Saturday night, actually, isn't it? Thinking about it. I wonder if they've got nightclubs here. Okay, so it seems the place I've come to isn't open, despite the open sign. It looks very closed, doesn't it? I mean, I'm not an expert, that does look closed. I've managed to pick the only place in this whole town that's closed. What are the chances of that? There's lots of places, thankfully. There's even more on this side. I wonder if you actually could stay in one of them overnight. You probably could. I think I'll take my bedroom, don't get me wrong, but just saying. What a view though on an evening. Look at that. Beautiful. Once again, doesn't get us any closer to me actually having food. Change of plan, we're gonna have some Asian food. It says Indonesian food, but I think it's just actually general Asian food. The menu's got sweet and sour chicken on. Okay, just finished up at the Asian restaurant. The food was nice, it was peaceful, it was chilled out, enjoyed my yakitori. Now heading back to the hotel, got myself a water, some M&Ms. So yeah, we'll wake up at 5, hopefully see the incredible sights of the hot air balloon. Fingers crossed it's not too windy. Once I've seen them, I'll be off back to bed.
So I'm back in my cave for the night. And to be honest with you, I've been quite enjoying the cave. The cave life, I think, could well be for me. I'll see how I sleep tonight. Anyway, see you in about 7 hours. Well, this is slightly concerning. It is just after 5 a.m. It's brighter than I expected it to be. Sunrise isn't until 1:15, and there is nothing in the sky. Now, I think they might be on the other side of here. Even still, though, I was expecting maybe to see one or two, but I can't see anything. Have I just got to put 5 a.m. for nothing? Yeah, there is nothing. Not even on this side. Absolutely nothing. Now, I'm hoping we'll just do it too early, because the sun technically hasn't come up yet, and so perhaps they don't actually go in the sky until the sun is up. There are people gathering round. I'm trying to figure out if people are just here for the sunrise and to take pictures of themselves, or if there is actually something that's going to happen here. I can't see anything on the horizon at all. Surely all the hot air balloons don't go up at once. The sun is just starting to peer through, and still absolutely nothing. It's actually quite cold as well. Well, because the sun's not out, that would make sense. Give it till 1:30, we've got 15 minutes. And then I'm off back to bed. Here it is, the sun is just peeping. Regardless of the hot air balloons, that is pretty special. I think it looks better in person than on camera, to be honest. Great sunrise, still no hot air balloons. Oh my word, it's freezing. I'm going to start to get a runny nose in a minute. Right, so I've retreated into one of the caves. Suddenly, I'm protected from the wind. It's fantastic. Well, it is 5:45. And still absolutely nothing. Bearing in mind they're supposed to start at sunrise, which was about half an hour ago. I can't see anything on the horizon at all. No big balloons. Nothing. In that case, I'm off back to bed. At least I got to see a nice sunrise, I guess. Is that positive? It's something, isn't it? Oh, God, that's chilly. Okay, so I went back to sleep for another couple of hours. Managed to just about get a little bit more sleep in anyway. Then got up, got ready, went for breakfast. The exact same breakfast as yesterday. Had even less of it than I was able to eat yesterday. Just wasn't as hungry this morning. And yeah, now I have 30 minutes until I have to check out. So look, this morning didn't go to plan. I found out afterwards that there was basically a weather warning, which meant that they couldn't take the hot air balloons up. I assume it must have been wind related, I don't know. That was annoying, that was frustrating, but I've hopefully shown you on the screen what it was supposed to look like. It was supposed to look stunning, hot air balloons everywhere, and instead I got just a sunset. A nice sunset, but I've seen a sunset before. It's the same sun. However, my stay generally has been pretty good. Okay, it's a little bit more touristy than I was expecting it to be. Sort of like a Disneyland for sort of caves and hot air balloons. You know, I've enjoyed cave life. It's been fun. It's nice living in a rock. It's got a different feeling to it. It does feel a bit unusual. It feels odd. It feels like sort of medieval. I feel like I've actually been living in like a sort of room in a castle or something like that. It's kind of unusual. Less stuff to do around here than I was hoping for, so apologies about that. But I had fun still. I enjoyed it. It's a change of scenery. Lovely scenery. I love a good landscape. And I got the opportunity to live life as a caveman. You know, I've got like a cave kettle and stuff. Yes, the hot air balloon thing was a bit of a disappointment to us all, but at least I didn't pay 120 quid to go on one. Anyway, now to go to a proper house.